Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Andy here. I coach men and women on living lives of abundance and joy. If I can do it, you sure as hell can too. And today is, when I release this video, technically Thanksgiving in the USA. And that's not something that we celebrate at all here in Australia, but I thought I may as well sit down and give a lot of you some thanks. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful that you share and open up and talk about your struggles and allow me to help you in whatever way I can. I'm grateful for those of you down below in the comments section who help each other and give motivation and advice to each other. That's incredible. I'm grateful that I get to be here and that I get to be surrounded by people that I care about and people that I love, and I get to give back to some of you in whatever ways I possibly can. So that's my gratitude. Feel free to leave a comment below and let all of us know what you're grateful for, whether that's friends, that's family, maybe yourself, maybe some epiphany that you've had recently that you're really grateful for. Whatever it might be, let's share a bit of Thanksgiving, a bit of gratitude, and a bit of love. And now let's answer some goddamn questions, you sexy boys and sexy girls. All right, Phoenix says, I think about aging and death every day. I don't think I got a chance to be young. I definitely felt like the parent sometimes, and it seemed like I was always in trouble and didn't always know why. Yeah, I felt like that a fair bit too, my brother. And even knowing how short life is, I feel paralyzed. Maybe I can still be a player after 40. I'm 37 and I've had 6 partners total. Or maybe I can buy fast cars before my body is too old to go racing. Yeah, of course you can do both of those things. But I think I'm always going to want those lost years back. You're allowed to want those lost years back. You don't get them back, but you're allowed to want to. There's nothing wrong with you sitting there wanting those lost years back. It's just that that's an impossibility that's never going to happen. I've been afraid to read some of the books that you recommend because of what I'd have to think about. Can this really be good? Brother, if you say that it's good, then yes, it can be good. If you say it's bad, then it will be bad. What I'm basically saying there is, can these books that I'm recommending you be good? Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't recommend them. But if you're very stuck on this idea that I've lost those years, I'm never getting them back, which, yeah, you're not. Congratulations. That's like reality. If you're very stuck on those lost years, then yeah, the books that I give you, you won't even read them. And I want to talk about something called learned helplessness. You, my friend, have what is known as learned helplessness, and a lot of you do, where no matter what advice I or someone else gives you, no matter what pathway we lay out for you, no matter how easy I make the baby steps, and you could take the most incredibly easy baby steps right now. If you're saying I want to have more sexual experience, you could start with the tiniest little baby step. You could start with the tiniest little self-improvement thing. I will go to a store and I will buy one shirt that I think looks slightly better than how I normally dress. Or I will go to the gym and do one exercise to start building a tiny bit of muscle, like to start that process. Or I will go for a 5-minute walk so I can start losing weight if that's something that you would benefit from. Or I will go out and take one photo of myself to start building a dating profile. Or I'll go outside and I will smile at one stranger. It doesn't even have to be a woman, assuming you're into women. I will start smiling at one person a day, and that's how I will slowly build my baby steps. I can give you the most easy baby steps on the planet, but if you really believe it's hopeless and you really believe that you're so stuck on this idea of all those years that you've lost and I'm never going to make it and what's the point and life is short and I'm paralyzed, then no baby step that I give you, you'll actually take. And so what I would do, my friend, is I would sit down and grab a copy of a book called Learned Optimism. And this book was written by a guy called Martin Seligman, who in like the 70s or the 80s literally did the research on something called learned hopelessness. And learned hopelessness is when you've basically built up this story or this narrative or this belief that it's all hopeless, nothing's going to change, it's too late for you, blah, 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 blah. And so he did the research on this. He was the guy. He was the guy who studied this and was like, how come some people, even when given the most tiny little baby steps, don't take action? Why do some people start New Year's resolutions, for instance, and then quit 3 weeks later? How come some people seem to be successful and some people just don't even seem to get started? They just fall off at the beginning or a short bit into it. And so he did a ton of research on this and came up with this concept called learned helplessness. And then he wrote this book called Learned Optimism about how to rewrite your brain. You, my friend, right now, if you read through what you've written here, you are incredibly, or you believe that it's incredibly hopeless. Like you're so stuck on your hopelessness and the idea that it's too late, you've lost those years, that you're just going to end up not doing anything for the next 40 or 50 years. And so rather than sitting there beating yourself up, you're doing that a little bit, but not a lot. But rather than sitting there beating yourself up or using motivation, which is normally what I would do, I wouldn't beat you up, but I'd say, go take a baby step, go try this. You've been in the comments section for a little while. I've given you baby steps. And if you're finding that you're just too stuck to even start those baby steps, again, go read this book that I'm talking about, this Learned Optimism book. Go read this book as well called You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought. Go watch my Play to Win video course. And go read this book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. All of these resources, and there's plenty more, but I would start with those ones. All of those 4 resources, I promise you, are incredibly freaking nice. Your question was essentially, I'm afraid to read some of these books and things that you recommend, Andy, because I'm worried about what I might have to think about. Can these things really be good? Yes, otherwise I wouldn't recommend them. If you're sitting there in hopelessness, which you are, if you're feeling like it's too late for you, you're paralyzed, do you really think that I'm going to recommend books to you guys or to any of you that would hurt you or make you feel worse about yourself? Now, yeah, you might be confronted with certain things. Beautiful. What a great opportunity for you to work through those emotions and work through some of the things that you've suppressed. You can either keep going down the pathway that you've been going down, which is where you suppress and you hide from things and you don't face things and you just kind of stick it off to the side and you probably are self-medicating. I don't know what you're self-medicating with, but I imagine you're probably watching a bunch of TV or anime or porn or video games or alcohol or social media or feeling upset or beating yourself up or any of those things, all the general normal things that we all self-medicate with from time to time. You've probably been running from your emotions a little bit. So yes, I'll be very honest with you. If you read some of these books that I recommend, yeah, some emotions might come up. But the point of these fucking books is to help you deal with the emotions that might come up. They literally hold your hand. You're thinking that you just go through this journey completely alone. Nobody's there for you. I'm all alone. I'm paralyzed. I'm sad. I'm hopeless. And I have to read these books that are just going to confront me. No, the point of the books is they make you feel nice. They are written very gently. They are all very loving books. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend them. They will make you feel good. This book, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, especially if you listen to the audiobook, which is read out by the author herself, is one of the most loving, gentle books that you'll ever read. She's so unbelievably nice with the way that she talks. This book, You Can't Afford the Luxury of a Negative Thought, is literally a book that was written for people who are dying and who are feeling very sorry for themselves and scared and all of that. And he wrote this book to hold their hand through that process. And so this is one of the most gentle, nice, sweet books that you're ever going to read. Learned Optimism is literally a book about how to be more optimistic, how to let go of guilt. He even says that, how to stop assuming that you're guilty, how to stop beating yourself up, how to stop feeling bad, basically. It's literally a book on how to feel nice, how to feel good. That's the point of this book. And then my Play to Win video course, oh my freaking God, the whole point of the video course is to make you feel good. How I built a winner's mindset, to make you feel nice. I don't yell at you. I don't make you feel guilty. If stuff does come up, I have an entire chapter on how to deal with emotions and process all of that. I mean, really, it's not just a chapter. The entire fucking video course is about how to deal with the emotions that might come up. Like this one, every problem has a solution. I talk through how you can solve the emotions and the regrets and all of that stuff that you're afraid of right now. Everything that happens to me is good is literally a chapter. I tell you, it's okay. Everything's okay. Even if you're tempted to say, this is awful, this sucks, this is bad, I have all these regrets, it's painful. In this chapter, I walk you through how to be okay with those regrets. It's the point of the video course. And then this chapter, especially overcoming your fears, your limiting beliefs, and your doubt. Literally, I hold your hand through that chapter. And then the next one, how to deal with failures or setbacks or stress. In other words, how to become resilient. So when those emotions come up and you're really afraid and you're like, holy shit, I've wasted my life. I can't believe I don't have a lot of sex. I can't believe I don't have a Lamborghini. Oh my God, I'm a loser. All those thoughts that might come up. That chapter talks you through how to be okay with that. The whole video course is how to be okay with your emotions. And so to really answer your question, yes, I promise you, the books that I recommend will hold your hand and make you feel nice. The entire point of the entire point of the channel here is not to ever make anyone feel bad. You might feel bad because of your own internalized guilt and shame and regret and fear and all of that. But the entire point of this channel is to make you feel nice, to tell you that everything's okay, to then tell you what to do about it to start improving and get those beautiful goals that you might have. You say here you want to get a bit more sexual experience, you want to drive some fast cars or maybe buy a fast car. Those sound beautiful. Those sound like incredibly beautiful goals. You're allowed to start working on them, but it's got to start with giving yourself permission. And right now, you've probably been spending most of your life not giving yourself permission, saying, I'm too old, I'm not good enough, this and that, and all the other stuff. Just go read some of the books that I've recommended. Or go grab the Play to Win video course. Just start there. And if you want to, you're very welcome to hit me up and join the coaching program, and we would hold your hand through that too. But go actually get started. Or don't. You're allowed to not as well. And plenty of people don't change their lives and they live a normal, average life. And that's okay. There's no shame in that. Like, you're allowed to just coast through life if you want to. I'm not recommending doing that, but you're allowed to as well. So change if you want to. Don't change if you want to. Either one is beautiful, my friend. Do whatever you would like to do. All right, this next comment made me smile a lot. And not just because your username is impossibly long and impossible to pronounce, but you say, for you and those who've subscribed since about 2,000 subscribers, I had eggs and ham for breakfast, much to your chagrin. So there's so many little inside jokes going on here. And I want to talk about where this channel used to be. So, a couple of years ago, many years ago, actually, I was only at 2,000 subs. And I say only because at the time I thought that was the most amazing thing ever. I was so unbelievably happy with that. I cannot believe that we're currently at 60,000 as I record this. That's like an insane number that my brain can't comprehend. And what I used to do back then, because not many people would comment, I could do 10 videos and not get a single comment, right? And I would put in the description of every video something interesting. And I'd say, if you've read down this low, tell me what you just had for breakfast, or tell me what your favorite color is, or something like that. And a few people started replying and sharing what they had with breakfast, and I thought, or what they had for breakfast, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever, because now people are actually commenting on my videos, and yeah, all they're saying is I had eggs for breakfast. But I thought that was really cool. And I want to talk about how far we've come with this channel. We're now at a point where every video gets comments. And a lot of the time, you guys and girls are opening up about your fears, opening up about your doubts. You're asking really deep questions. You're sharing your victories and your wins. Like, this is really starting to feel like a proper community. And I can't tell you how fucking grateful I am for that. It is Thanksgiving today there in America, so here's a bit more gratitude. I'm really, really, really grateful. It was kind of the vision that I had when I started this channel. I liked the idea of people sharing what they're going through, sharing their victories, sharing their struggles, and then I could sit down and sort of do a bit of free coaching and help people in the videos. And I'm really, really, really grateful that that's where we're at right now. We're now at a point where there's like more comments than I can possibly answer in videos and, replying to them. So holy shit, that's incredible. I'm really grateful. And thank you for all of you who share either the victories or your struggles or anything else. And I'm really glad, my friend, that you had eggs and ham for breakfast. That's awesome. I myself, he's making a second inside joke because I myself don't particularly like eggs. So there you go. All right, let's do one more comment, and this is a big one. So this is from Gonnie Whitlove, who is writing a big, long response to a video that I did answering another one of his questions. And the original video is right down there on the bottom left of the screen. It was called I Tried Cold Approach and It Didn't Pan Out. And he shared with us that he was a little frustrated that he's been going out and he's approached a little bit. I think he'd not done a lot of, I think he'd done like 50 approaches in his life in the last like 10 years, which is amazing. But obviously there's a lot, you're going to need to do a lot more if you want cold approach to pan out. You're going to have to talk to a lot more than 50 people. So I gave him this big long video, and here is his response to that video. He says, thanks for the video, Andy. I honestly didn't even expect a response, and my comment was kind of a spur of the moment cry into the void. And that's okay. A lot of times with goals, we feel very frustrated, especially with dating. People tend to get very emotional and emotionally invested and very attached to the outcome. And then things don't go the way that we want them to. And then we get very frustrated and we're angry and resentful. Sometimes we blame the opposite gender. Sometimes we turn that back on ourselves and blame ourselves. Sometimes we say, maybe I'm not good enough, and we start feeling hopeless. All of that sort of stuff. But I promise, my friend, you're doing a good job. And I promise your emotions are normal. This is what a lot of people feel. And all we're going to do is work on helping you be a little bit more stoic, a little bit more resilient, and in your case, taking a little bit more action. Rather than saying, I talked to 50 women and it didn't work, it's like, then go talk to another 50 and see what happens. And then another 50 after that, and just keep doing that. Then if it doesn't work, then try harder. If it's not working, go out there and do it again. Maybe change something, but yeah, go out there and do more. I definitely do see how my post came off as judgmental. I know this sounds like me justifying it, but when I said I don't want to settle for an obese single mother, which is what he said in his original comment, it was with the subtext that I have massively improved myself. And to be very clear, I never said that anyone needs to settle. Nobody on the planet needs to settle. Settle means being unhappy. You don't have to be unhappy. But what I said was, in that original video, he was a little bit angry. He was feeling a little bit of emotions, and he was kind of saying like, why should I have to settle for an obese single mother? And what I gently said was, first of all, let's be a little kinder with how we refer to other people, but nobody's making you settle with an obese single mother. If you don't want to date someone who is a single mother and obese, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to at all. So yeah, that was sort of the context of the original video. He goes on to say, if I was still a lazy fat slob, I would absolutely not have any right to ask that a woman meet some high standard. You have the right to ask anything that you want. You have the right to go for what you want. Even if you were lazy and fat, you're allowed to date hot women if you want to. It's just that they might not be into you, but you can go out there and ask. So I'm saying this because a lot of times in dating, and this is where a lot of your stress is coming from, Mr. Gonny Whitlove, a lot of times in dating, we play this thing where we judge ourselves and other people, and we say, well, I'm a 6 and she's an 8. And then if she's above me, then I have no right to ask her out. Yes, you do. You're allowed to walk up to her just because she's hotter than you and you're fat. You can walk up to her and be like, hi, would you like to go out with me? And she'll either say yes or no, depending on your other qualities and everything else that you have to offer. Similarly, the reverse. If you're really hot, someone who's less attractive has the right to come up to you and say, would you like to go out with me? And then you're allowed to say, no, thank you. So when we have this like point system of like, this person is an 8 out of 10 and I'm a 7 out of 10, or I'm a 9 and she's a 6, like it just reduces people to the most cherry picked idea of what a human being is. We're looking only at the appearance and saying nothing else about them matters. And that completely ignores a million other reasons why people get together. Not everybody on the planet is together with their partner just because they're attractive. Most people know that, but a lot of times, especially in self-improvement and especially in male self-improvement circles, we forget that. And we're like, the only reason why someone would be with someone else is if they're both equally attractive. They both either have to be ultra fucking hot or they're ultra not hot, and then that's it. No, if you go outside and actually pay attention, you will see a lot of times when there's a very attractive woman with a guy who's maybe less attractive. Why? Well, maybe he has money. Maybe he's a really kind person. Maybe he's a really interesting person. Maybe he's super ambitious. Maybe he's just an absolutely cool, fucking interesting human being. Maybe he's not like all the other, like, quote, fuck boys that she's used to dating. And sometimes you see the reverse. A really, really, really attractive guy with a woman who's maybe not as attractive. Why? Maybe she's a really genuinely kind, loving, wonderful human being. Maybe she's incredibly loyal and that's what he's looking for. Blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on and on. But the point is, when we reduce ourselves down, which Gonny Whitlove is what you're doing, you're reducing yourself down to just your appearance and the effort that you've put in for that appearance. And then you're reducing some of these women down to just their appearance and the lack thereof, as you perceive it, of them working on their appearance. And you're saying, because we don't match on that, boom, she's a nothing, I'm a 10, I'm angry. That's causing you resentment. If you can instead with each person, ask yourself inside yourself, like in your heart, do I want to date this person? Yes or no? If the answer is no, you just gently say, hey, I don't want to date them. Beautiful. But you don't have to like tell this big story of like, I've worked so hard. Like that story is causing you so much pain. And I'm sure you have worked really hard. You said, I've lost 25 kilograms in the last year. That's incredible, bro. That's so beautiful. But rather than telling a story of how difficult that was and this is awful and so therefore I deserve a goddess and blah, 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 that story is causing you pain. If you can let go of that a little bit and let go of your attachment to that and say, I worked really hard. And so I would like to find someone who's equally as ambitious or cares about their body just as much as I do. And so they look really good. And that's what I'm looking for. And then you wouldn't have any pain. It would just be a peace. You'd be like, I worked really hard on my body. And so I want to find someone that's very attractive. Cool. I'll go out there and I'll talk to the more attractive people. And if there's someone that's less attractive or not what I'm looking for, I'll just gently, peacefully, lovingly, kindly, and non-judgmentally say, hey, maybe this isn't what I'm looking for. I hope you find what you're looking for, and that's it. But there wouldn't be this painful fucking story that you have of like, I shouldn't have to settle for obese single mothers. Why? Like, that's causing you the pain. So take a deep breath. You worked really hard. You've done an incredible job losing 25 kilograms, putting on muscle. That's incredible. Now go find a woman who's done an incredible job of working on her body or just has maintained a really good body. Go find her and be like, hey, I put a lot of effort into my body. Looks like you put a lot of effort into your body. Would you like to go on a date together? And then you have all these other things that you can offer, all these other things that she can offer. Boom, boom, boom. You guys get together. You have a beautiful time. So, yeah, basically what I'm telling you is objectify yourself a little bit less and objectify these women a little bit less. In other words, you have more to offer than just your hot body. I think you know that on some logical level, but you are so obsessed with looks. And I know looks are important to men. Looks are important to me too. But you're like solely focused on looks, and then you're getting very upset if a woman who doesn't meet your looks threshold or your looks standard, you're like taking it personally. If a woman that you're not attracted to, or a woman who has some weight to lose, if she's interested in you or she matches with you, you're taking that personally as if she's done something bad to you or the universe has done something to hurt you. If you want hot women, I say this all the time, they're not going to just sit on your lap and fall into your lap. Go out there and talk to a lot of them. If you want really hot women because you've worked really hard on your body and lost 25 kilos, which is amazing, man, that's so beautiful. Walk up to really hot women and be like, hi, you're really attractive. Would you like to go on a date with me? Go approach 500 hot women. One of them will say yes to you. If the idea of approaching 500 overwhelms you, fine. Go outside and approach one and just get started. Go on the dating apps, take better pictures, keep working on your wardrobe, keep working on your pictures, blah, blah, blah. If you right now are getting matches with people that are not what you're looking for in terms of attractiveness on dating apps, that tells me your pictures aren't where they need to be. Your pictures suck. Like, it's literally just only ever that. Or you're in some sort of small town where there's like literally no people, and so you're never going to get any matches there. If you're not matching with the people that you're attracted to, improve your pictures. Your pictures suck. It's simply that. Or go outside and talk to lots of women. It's a little easier to approach hot women outside because they're more likely to pay attention to you, whereas on the apps, they can often be overwhelmed, so there's that there too. But go outside and talk to hot women. Go on the apps and talk to hot women. And you go on to say that you're just, you're feeling a little bit frustrated, and that's okay in dating. When we have expectations, which you clearly do, and most people do, when those expectations don't get met, then we get frustrated, disappointed, all of that. So without the expectations, in other words, if you just showed up and whatever results you got, you're like, okay, cool. Those are the results I'm currently getting. They're not what I'm looking for. Cool. I guess I need to improve something. Let me improve. If that was your mindset, there wouldn't be any frustration. So frustration in dating only comes from having expectations. And I'm not telling you to just, I'm not saying snap your fingers and just stop having expectations, but slowly work on having less expectations and more curiosity. In other words, when the expectations or when reality doesn't line up with your expectations, you say, okay, what do I need to change? There must be something I need to improve. Maybe I just need to talk to more people. Maybe I need to improve my appearance. Maybe there's something that I could do in terms of my self-love and my confidence. Maybe it's literally just that I'm being impatient. And if I just went and talked to more women and waited, I would get the thing that I want. A lot of the time, it's just that. Like, you have no idea how many times in my coaching program, people will be getting very frustrated with their dating results. And I'm like, just wait, bro. I promise you, 1 week from now, you're going to get matches. You're going to have a great time. 1 week later, they're like, oh my God, I had sex. I can't believe it. She was amazing. Oh my God, you were right. And it's like, yeah, I know. That's how this goes. So a lot of the time, we're just very frustrated and we're very impatient, and we haven't played the numbers game as much as we could. Like, if you've talked to 50 women in person, that's amazing. But that's like a beginning. That's like you're just getting started. I usually say to people, until you've talked to 100 women, you're just getting started. When you've approached and asked for a phone number from 100 women, okay, now we're starting. Now we're actually getting going. Okay, good job. You did your first 100, great. But if you've done 50 in your life, that was like half of a beginning. Brilliant, amazing, incredible. Let's celebrate it. Now go talk to 50 more, and then we can say you've just started beginning. Good job. And then you can just work on doing maybe one a day, like approach one woman a day, go on the dating apps for like 15 minutes a day and just get that ball rolling and keep it going. But you're very frustrated right now, but you haven't taken action. You have with your body, but you haven't with dating. You haven't been talking to literally hundreds of women. And so when you talk to hundreds of women, you'll see that you start getting some results. But you go on to say, I'm a little frustrated. If all I could get was a woman who, to put it nicely, doesn't even bother to meet this standard, then why don't I just go back to being a lazy, unappealing fatso? You're allowed to if you want to. You can do whatever you want. No one's going to talk you out of it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do whatever you want. Go back to being lazy and unappealing and a fatso. Those are not kind ways to refer to yourself, but I think you know that because you then go on to say, honestly, even trying to justify all of this, I sound like an asshole that is projecting his self-hate. You're not an asshole. You are a human being who, yes, is feeling some self-hate and some frustration and some strong emotions and all of that and some disgust towards other people and towards yourself. But you're not an asshole. You don't have to become a lazy, unappealing fatso. And single women aren't disgusting and obese. Like when you let go of a little bit of this very emotionally charged language and be a little bit more rational, a little bit more stoic, a little bit more impartial and just neutral, you'll find that a lot of the pain that you're feeling right now will kind of disappear. Like if you just rewrite, like literally swap out some of the words that you're using, instead of an obese single mother, I would change that to a woman that I'm not interested in. That's a lot less emotionally charged. Rather than saying, these women, to put it nicely, don't even bother to meet this standard. You can just say, these women are not what I'm looking for. Or maybe these women have a lot going on in their life and losing weight is not their main priority right now. If they're single mothers like you're referring to, they're probably a little busy raising their child. Like if you just switch it out for some a little bit more neutral or impartial or chill language, you'll find a lot of the pain that you're feeling will go away. You know, instead of referring to your old self as a lazy, unappealing fatso, you could refer to your old self as someone who had a little bit of weight to lose and wasn't as motivated as I am right now. Or someone who wasn't as disciplined as I am right now. Or someone who just hadn't gone to the gym and lost weight. Like, that's it. That's the truth. But you're the one that's adding all this, like, opinionated, emotionally charged language. And that's what's getting you upset. Even calling yourself an asshole. I sound like an asshole. No, you sound like a human being who's currently feeling some strong emotions. And when human beings are feeling very strong emotions, then yeah, they phrase things maybe in a not very charitable or kind way. That doesn't make you an asshole. That just makes you a human being who's going through some shit right now. You see how everything I'm saying is a lot more gentle and calm and peaceful? And like I'm saying, when you speak like that, you will find that you feel a lot more calm and peaceful. And so the words that we say when we describe ourselves or other people, they're like a magic spell. Like words are hypnotizing. If you call yourself an asshole and you say, I'm full of self-hate, used to be lazy and an unappealing fatso, then you'll feel really strong emotions. But if you say, I was a human being who was just trying to do his best and now I've lost a bunch of weight and I'm really proud of myself and I'd love to go out there and find a woman who's as attractive as, I think that I am. I think that's what I'm looking for. That'd be beautiful. Then you feel excited. You feel calm. You feel peaceful. You feel like going out there and talking to 50 more women. So the language that we use is very important, but I promise you're doing a good job, my brother. All right, let's finish up on account of I am tired. And by the time this video comes out, I will be 1 or 2 days away from doing what I've referred to or mentioned a couple of times, which is one live stream every day for all of December and maybe a little bit into January. I myself have often felt very alone over Christmas and the holiday period. So I thought it might be nice if I sit down and do a live stream with all of you every single day for the next, 32 days. So that will be starting in Australian time, it will be the 1st of December, which for you Americans and people like that, it will be on the 30th of November. So like tomorrow when this video comes out. So 30th of December, it'll be evening time in America. I will be sitting down doing a live stream. You can come, ask any questions, think of it as free coaching or think of it as just hanging out. If you want a little bit of motivation or you want to share some wins and share some victories, if you just want to chill and talk shit, I'm very happy for us to do that. Maybe we can play some video games or something like that if we want to. I'm happy to stream and answer questions and just hang out, but we'll have a bit of fun with it. I'll be doing that every single day for, like I said, all of December and a little bit of January so that none of us have to feel quite so alone. So if that's interesting to you, feel free to come. There's also a link in the description to my coaching. If you would like to get help with any of this stuff that I've talked about today or anything else, click the link below and come have fun, come change your life and all that good shit. All right, guys and girls, I am super fucking tired. I'm going to go get some breakfast. I appreciate all of you. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas for 25 days from now. I appreciate all of you. You're all awesome. See you on the live stream.